Zach, you probably haven't had a chance to review the game as a team, but personally, I guess, where do you feel, the game went and how was it lost?
Yeah, I think we did some things well throughout the game. I think for parts of the game we were able to play some of the footy that we really aspire to play, and for parts of the game we were in front and doing sort of the things that we set out to do. And then there was probably a few patches as well. Being a good team, Carlton, they got a run on and found it really hard to stop. And as you said, we'll look at a few things this morning and go through a few more things in detail. But I thought they played really well, so credit to them.
There have been a question around in media and stuff around maybe a lack of motivation with Carlton getting that run on, and a bit of vision around the midfielders being quite late to contests and stuff. Does it feel, is that just the media pumping up? Does it feel maybe like a lack of motivation to start the season? You've had a shorter pre-season due to the premiership.
Oh, I think as a team we're as hungry as ever. I think last season, obviously, with the success we have, that was awesome, but I think we're all really keen to try and put in some good performances again. And there are a couple of times where we're maybe a bit slow to set up and that sort of thing, and they probably made us have to scramble a couple of times. And when you play a team like Carlton and you're sort of on the back foot a little bit, it can be tough to stop. You sort of spoke about some of that vision, but I'm not doubting as a team that we're not hungry. I think we've still got plenty of things to prove. I know myself, I want to prove a few things, and as a team we're really keen to try and get a few wins on the board.
That Smith spoke to SEN, I think, saying, sort of admitting that he was quite disappointed and that the club are disappointed in the start, that it is knowing that you're a better team than that. Would you sort of back that up as well?
Oh yeah, obviously we'd love to be 2-0. Every team would love to be 2-0, but it is a tough competition. Footy's a hard game, and you're not going to get everything right throughout the whole 120 minutes of a game. That's the exciting thing. We've got a challenge ahead of us again. There's always another game ahead of us to try and rectify some of the things that we didn't quite do as well as what we would have liked. But as I've touched on before, I think for patches of the game we have been looking like we've been at our best, and we've just got to try and keep working hard to do a few more of those things a bit more consistently throughout the game. And there's another challenge this week that presents in Gold Coast to be able to do that.
I mean, a slight change in game plan, I guess, coming into 2023, as it's been spoken about. I guess you can't do the same thing backing off a premiership. You have to keep going forward. Do you think it's slightly even teething errors going into that more attacking game style?
Oh, I think every team's aspiring to trial a few new things we've sort of spoken about. If we just continue to remain the same, there's going to be teams that are improving. So I think we know as a group that we're going to have to keep working on a few things, and obviously keep some of the things that we were sort of doing well last year, but we've got some new talent in the room, and I think we'll continue to evolve around them, and hopefully our game can continue to evolve. And we've got the few games ahead of us where we're really keen to try and get going and put some of those things into practice.
The two losses are quite different, I guess, in terms of the Carlton one where you guys came back and couldn't get over the line, and the Collie one which slipped away late. Is it almost not pleasing, but knowing that they're not a worrying trend there, is it sort of almost something to take out of in terms of being on the bright side of things, or a bit more positive?
Oh, I think that's a great thing about this group. Against Carlton on the weekend, we were, I think, 6 goals down or so at three-quarter time, and we still strongly had the belief that we could come back and win the game with the talent that we had in the room, and back in our game plan to try and get us back in a position where we could potentially win the game. And I think Collingwood and Carlton are both really good teams. They're going to be right up there in the top 8, I think. So for periods of the game we've been able to sort of play the footy that we've been wanting to, but it can be a long game at times where teams do get a run on, and we just haven't been able to stop that quite as well as we would have liked at the moment.
It must be promising that, like you're saying, you have these young boys that come in and against two of the top teams in the competition, you still get so close to them.
Yeah, I think some of the guys that have come in have been really good for us. I think that's part of the whole evolving from year to year. I think you try and change a few things with your game plan, but obviously the personnel changes a bit, and I think that's been a really bright start to the season for some of those guys. They've performed really well, and I think as a team and for some of those guys as well, they're just going to continue to get better as the year goes on. So that's certainly been a really exciting part for us.
I know it's only 2 games in, but how's Saba's transition into the back line going as another defender alongside him?
Yeah, I think he's been great. He's obviously a really good athlete, which we've seen with some of the things he's been able to do sort of throughout his whole career, really. Playing up forward and in the ruck early on, and in defence, the way he leaps at the ball is really exciting. And I think just his willingness to learn sort of that new role has been great, and he's got some really experienced heads down there and some great coaches that he can lean on. And I think he's been doing a really good job to try and fast track himself to become a really important player for us. I think he's already a really important player for us, and some of the glimpses he's been showing throughout the start of the season have been really impressive.
Has his importance sort of heightened because of the Tom Stewart injury? Have you noticed that he's had to take on more of a sort of senior role, even though he's pretty new to the position himself?
I guess so. Stewie's obviously one of our best players, and we'd love to have him out there each and every week. I think he spoke about it in the season launch that he was really looking forward to getting back into games, because that's what he lives for, to play footy. And so it's been disappointing for him to go out early in the season, but we've had a couple of other guys who have missed a couple of games, and we're looking forward to getting them back. But for guys like Asava and a few new guys that have come in, it's created a great opportunity, and I think they've been doing a really good job so far to try and fill the void a little bit.
You spoke about the new guys. Jack obviously coming and playing his first game. How do you sort of assess his debut for the club, and then also coming up game 2 against his old side as well?
Yeah, I thought he was great. I thought he did some really good things. He's a really skillful player. He's had a really good pre-season where he's played a number of different roles, and I think the opportunity opened up for him on the weekend to sort of play down back a little bit and sort of play the wing sort of role as well. But yeah, he's fitted in seamlessly. He's getting along with the group really well, and I thought he performed really well as well.
Do you guys talk about the fact that he's coming up against Gold Coast? Like, is there any mention of that in the pre-game sort of talk about the game coming up?
No, I haven't spoken about that to him. I'm sure it might be in the back of his mind. But I think every game's a new challenge, and there's different motivations for every player in each game, and I'm sure for him he's excited by the prospect of that.
How did Jeremy Cameron pull up? We saw him pretty sore. I mean, he would be sore after the 6-goal haul he had, but is his body okay after the game?
I think so, yeah. He was amazing the other night. I thought at times guys like that who do some really special things don't get some of the credit for some of the brave acts that they do on the field as well, and I thought some of the stuff he did in that regard during the game were awesome, and he did pull up a little bit sore, and I think when you do kick 6 goals and perform like that, you'd pull up pretty sore after every game. So it's great to watch guys like that who can have the ability to flip the game on their head, and it was a marvel to watch, and in that last quarter he was a really big catalyst for us in trying to get back into that game.
And Reece Stanley with his ribs, anything? I'm
sure he'll be fine as well. There were a couple of guys who had a few bumps and bruises from the game, but I'm sure he'll be fine, and we're really keen to get him in full health again, and look forward to the upcoming game.
I guess last one, Tom Hawkins, like a lot of talk around him, probably just because of the player that he is. There's definitely a lot of expectation on him week to week, and he has come in undone, obviously, with that surgery in the off-season. Do you think he'd benefit from a couple of weeks off his own mini pre-season, I guess, to come in and, I guess, be that impactful player that he is?
I think having sort of whatever year he's played for a long time now, I think he's got a really good base behind him, and he's certainly been working really hard behind the scenes throughout the pre-season to get himself in the shape where he can play in round 1. I thought he went about his rehab really professionally and put in some really good hard work, and I think for guys like that, I think just as the season goes on, he'll look to improve, and we know what he's capable of when he's at his best, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him progress throughout the season, because as you said, he probably missed part of the pre-season with the main group, but he was certainly working really hard behind the scenes to get his body up to the level to perform for us, and yeah, I'm really keen to see in the next few weeks him getting back to it. Awesome.